Welcome back to another episode of Tandem Fandom's Hot Tag. I'm Mick.
I'm Courtney.
And we are tagging you into all the hottest news and happenings in pro wrestling today.
That's right. One of the biggest things is we're going into Backlash.
Very exciting. You know, this is the first brand-specific pay-per-view that we've gotten since the split.
Yep.
I feel like they're going in with a lot of heat, a lot of energy, and I'm pretty excited for the show.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for AJ and Dean. I really want AJ to win.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. I would love to see AJ win. Just, you know, full disclosure, I've not been a big fan of Dean's reign as champion.
Yeah.
His win was awesome, but for me, ever since he did the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, and just the way he kind of carried himself and a lot of things that he said, I'm not a big fan of the way he's been portraying himself. Just not.
Yeah, just kind of flippy floppy, not really solid character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he's like insane or whatever, but
I'm not even getting that. I think there's a way to portray that, and it's goofy. It comes off as goofy.
Yeah, a lot of times it does.
Anyway. But that aside, Raw, pretty big week this week. You know, you had an excellent promo between Kevin Owens, your new champion, Seth Rollins. That was excellent work there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins on the microphone.
It's beautiful.
Just do that every week.
Beautiful. And of course, we're setting up for a possible triple threat at Clash of Champions for the titles. Roman Reigns next week, or the next Raw, will receive a shot. If he beats Kevin Owens, it'll turn to a triple threat. I'm not particularly a fan of this. I really was enjoying Roman and Rusev kind of mixing that up, but with Rusev legitimately being on a honeymoon, it's kind of hard to do that.
You could have planned that better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, pull the belt off or make some sort of something. I don't know. I was always a big fan of where they followed the rule of you had to defend the title 30 days or you would be stripped of the title. I really am a big fan of that. But that aside, Cesaro and Sheamus, Cesaro did it! He won at a live event, so it is 3-1 now. The comeback begins.
Although no more hilarious Sheamus clean sweep joke videos.
Yeah, I enjoyed the return of the Yeti with the toilet paper.
Like, oh boy, that's a lot of rock tape.
It was
hilarious.
It was pretty awesome. Sasha, of course, made her return with her bad news promo, which turns out like, hey, I'm perfectly fine. My bad news is for Charlotte. I'm back. So, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, he faced Sin Cara.
Yeah, moving on up.
Very cool. I believe he won via countout, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's still, you know, an advancement, but I like what they're doing with him. I really like how vocal he's being and some of the things that he's saying. That's really, really cool. You know, in terms of like, I'm a destroyer, and just things like that. I'm like, yes, yes, big man, yes.
Yeah, he's a good big monster. I know they've been trying to like make Baron Corbin like the big monster, but then Braun comes along and
it's that extra bulk I think that makes a difference. And I love the look, just everything about him. Big fan. SmackDown, of course, we kind of touched on this a bit. You had AJ and Dean. AJ kicks him in the dick, which again, that move proves it is the ultimate move in WWE. You can kick anybody in the dick, and it completely destroys them.
Down Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, the Dick Kick City. You know, of course, Miz and Dolph for the IC belt. Really excited for that. I mean, they have excellent chemistry.
They're both just so energetic and passionate whenever they get on the mic, and I love both of them.
Yes,
I love both of them. And it's gonna be a good match.
I really hope they draw this feud out a little bit. I'd like to see a trade back and forth of the belt, you know, trying different things there. The 6-pack women's challenge is approaching. It feels like we've got a multi-woman tag match for like 6 years at this point with SmackDown. I mean, I get it. It makes perfect sense because,
well, I mean, there's nobody really in line for their belt because it's a fresh belt. So
With the tag tournament, we got more advancement. It was American Alpha beating the Usos, and again, the Sweethearts, the Cinderella Boy, Cinderella Story, Slater, Rhino, also advancing. However, I want to talk about something that I both loved and both hated. The Usos going heel, destroying American Alpha. That was amazing. What I did not love, and we've talked about this off camera, and I know what you're going to say, but I have to voice this.
Yeah.
Okay, look, so we've got Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, you know, good guy authority figures, saying, and I understand the idea, have Usos and Hype Bros, those were the guys that advanced in the tournament, give them a second shot, whoever wins advances, taking American Alpha's spot. However, the Usos took American Alpha out of the tournament. You've essentially rewarded them by that. I think, just, again, good guy authority figure.
Okay.
You know,
stop justifying
a four-corner tag between, you know, every other team that you had or whatever. And then Usos come down, destroy whoever wins that between Hype Bros, and say, if you don't give us this opportunity, we are going to take out every other person that you do. Forcing the good guy authority figures at that point to begrudgingly be like, we have to have champions. They're going to keep hurting people. Give them an opportunity. And then a couple weeks, American Alpha triumphant return against the Usos, no DQ, ladder match, something for the next pay-per-view. Just the way I do it, but I understand.
Well, it happened on Tuesday, and the pay-per-view is tonight.
Well,
that's a lot of complicated storyline to just pull out of your ass and shove in the people's faces.
My fantasy booking is right, damn it! Ah! All that aside.
The way they did it was very politically fair.
Yeah, and I get it. So, in other news, Lucha Underground returning triumphantly for Season 3, or is it returning for Season 3? Because it's Pentagon.
3 down.
Very excited for Pentagon Dark.
Pentagon Dark.
Incredibly excited for that. Lucha's just such a fun show, and I love just pretty much everything they do, their stories, their backstage stuff. I watched one today, I believe it was a little older, but it was Marty the Moth against Killshot. It was a really cool, you know, like weapon of mass destruction promo. It was just awesome, and I'm watching it, I'm just got a smile on my face. I'm like, it's just so damn fun.
Yeah, they're sticking around.
Yes.
They're sticking around, because what they offer is so different than what everybody else offers.
Yeah, it's great in-ring work, but it's also incredibly exciting, just build-up and promo, and just they do things differently. It's fantastic.
Check them out.
Yes.
El Rey Network.
So, speaking of different and exciting and fun, we finally got Delete or Decay. The build for this...
It's kind of the final deletion 3?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it was... I felt like the build-up and lead into this maybe didn't have as much oomph as, say, the final deletion did. I felt like that had a lot bigger build.
I feel like it's all snowballing from the original final deletion, so it doesn't need it because you already have it.
No, I agree with that. However, I really enjoyed it.
It was so much fun. I love the Decay. Like they just all are so perfect. The Abyss and Crazy Steve and Rosemary, they're all so perfect in the roles that they have.
Yes.
And
it's exciting. I would have enjoyed to maybe see Rebby Hardy possibly interact with Rosemary a little.
Just see her, knocked out. No.
Well, it makes me think like maybe it was, that would be like a director's cut type thing. You know, maybe they cut out that kind of clash or whatever, but it was awesome.
I feel like the quality was a lot better than like the final deletion because there was a lot more like camera tricks and not just jump cut. This
one played, it's gonna be a little weird to say, but this one played a lot like a horror movie to me. You know, a lot of the shots I feel like were very similar to something that you'd see in a lot of horror films,
especially with Matt looking for Rosemary and Rosemary like hiding in the trees and stuff, and Matt and Crazy Steve. Jeff and Crazy Steve. I'm sorry, Brother Nero and Crazy Steve.
That was excellent.
That was the best segment.
He comes up out the water like Jason.
Legitimately.
The face paint coming back. That was
paint regenerate.
That was so great. They
really adding the supernatural side of the Decay.
They did, and it was done really well. The mist spot was excellent. I really liked Joseph Park showing up. I was looking for my brother Chris.
I don't know what's in that water.
What the hell is going on?
It turned Jeff into Willow, and it turns Abyss into his brother.
Yeah, so it was really cool. It was really well done.
A return of the dilapidated boat.
Yes, Skarsgård, dilapidated boat.
proving once again that it is #1 in firework protection.
Absolutely. It was cool. You know, I think the thing that really helped this one, at least in my opinion, was removing the wrestling ring completely.
Yeah,
because
it was not a match. It was just storyline.
Yeah. It was not quite as brutal and dark as, say, like the New Day versus the Wyatts, the Wyatt compound. There was a little bit more...
it was more chasing.
Yeah.
Well, they had... The Decay were coming for a reason. Like, the New Day just showed up because they were invited.
Because WWE's like, we have to copy that.
But the Decay, they had an objective. Yeah. They were coming for King Maxwell, so they had to like run and fight and hide, and it was more of a story.
I liked
it. Had
it.
An end game.
I liked it a lot. Of course, they took Senor Benjamin, so I'm interested to see where it goes. Where's Braum? Is he going to play some sort of a role in this?
Maybe.
I think that would be cool. On either side, either he's Decay or
I want him to come as like the dragon.
That would be very cool. So speaking of other things that are very cool, and perhaps you've noticed, we have a winner of the Battle of Los Angeles.
2016 BOLA Championship.
The villain, Marty Scurll.
Yay!
Very awesome, very cool. Could not happen to a more deserving guy. Very excited. You have anything to say on BOLA?
You know, Cody got there, but Marty won, so.
Yes. And again, Marty is excellent. We've talked about him previously on the show. Excellent. So really awesome to see. And it was a great BOLA. A lot of really cool, fun matches.
He really pulled the villain card, smooching Cody Rhodes' wife, Brandy.
Yeah, it's...
And then getting a pretty good smack to the face, although Cody did take an umbrella.
Yes, I want to point out Cody brought something from the past where he faced off with Sammy. It was great. You got Space Cat, of course.
Versus undashing Cody Rhodes. He bought another mask specifically to face off against Space Cat. Go to his Twitter, go to, PWG's stuff. There's pictures.
It's excellent.
It's mad.
Yes.
I'm getting like lightheaded just thinking about it because it's just so awesome.
So, the Young Bucks, this is just a small little thing that we saw that we wanted to make sure to mention.
I don't know, it's pretty big news.
It is. They released their own shirt, complete with cereal, small cereal, Super Kicks.
Super Kicks.
It's pretty great. It
comes with like little marshmallow buck heads and Super Kicks. I mean, it's just a booth.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because why not? They can do whatever the hell they want to compete with the New Day, which is it's been so fun.
I mean, that's the one. Honestly, that's one of the biggest dream matches I have. I would love to see the Elite versus the New Day, because it doesn't matter who wins. It would just be a great match. It would be so much fun.
Yeah.
That it would be awesome. So of course,
outside of wrestling news, but still lighting up the wrestling news world.
Of course, CM Punk made his UFC debut.
Finally.
And before we get into it, I do want to say I have a ton of respect for the guy chasing a dream that he had, especially at his age. He's 37, I believe. Never been the most athletic guy, but I give him credit. The guy's got a huge set of balls to...
He had to get back surgery before this even happened, so...
Yeah, so kudos to Punk for having the balls to step in there, and especially walk away from something where he was incredibly successful with WWE. Mm-hmm. That being said, he was absolutely obliterated in his
got
fight.
The shit beat out of him.
It's one of those things that, when you look at a lot of MMA pro wrestlers that have gotten into MMA, especially ones not like Ken Shamrock or Dan Severn or Brock Lesnar for that matter, Dave Bautista, he had an amateur fight and he struggled in that fight. He won, yes, but it was clear, advanced stage, things of that nature.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley, who's had a little bit more success, but it was very clear. If this is something that CM Punk wants to do, he should not be in the UFC because he is going to get seriously hurt badly.
You got to start with the amateur circuits. You just have to know what it's like.
Yeah.
Just like with professional wrestling, you go to a school, you have matches with other students.
Yes.
Before you even begin to think about the pro circuits. it's just what you do. You can't, especially with the way MMA is now. All of these young, hungry guys have been training mixed martial arts since they started. It's not like it used to be. It's not like these full-grown adult males going, well, I'm a great collegiate wrestler, I'm going to try.
Well, and I think that is the biggest aspect for me that said, when looking at Punk, I'm like, there's not going to be success because he's not, you know, a guy like I wrestled from 5 years old, like Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Yes, Brock was a pro wrestler, but he
had a background in a legitimate martial art.
Bobby Lashley as well was a collegiate and wrestler for the United States Army.
Yeah.
So he had a base of more than kind of, I do jiu-jitsu in my spare time for recreation, essentially. Like, again, much respect to the guy, but it was very clear. He didn't land a punch. He did not look at all like he belonged in there, because let's be honest, he didn't belong in there.
He really didn't. And, well,
you know, again, utmost respect for somebody chasing a dream.
Yeah, kudos, because, you know, well, you know, you're going to get hit in the face. Like, you know that's going to happen, and he still stepped in.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he can't have an opportunity to have somewhat of a career in MMA. I will say I do not believe that career would go into the UFC, and that's simply based on his age and experience. I mean...
And how he went into this fight.
Yeah, I mean, because
this fight ended in, what, a minute?
It was like 2 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that. Again, he didn't land a punch. When he got taken down, he looked almost lost. He fought off one rear naked choke, which was the most impressive thing he did, and then he proceeded to get his face smashed in.
Get just jerked around until he finally sunk it in.
Yeah, and I understand that after he's like, you know, this isn't the end for me, this is the most fun I've ever had. It would be my hope that coaches, you know, people close to him could step in and say, you know what?
Maybe start a little lower.
Yeah, maybe we need to go to the very bottom. And that's a question too of, at 37 years old, is that a viable thing?
Do you pursue an actual career?
Yeah, because let's be honest, he's not going to make money at this. No. I mean, there's just no way. Amateur MMA, you're paying him probably a good bit to train with the people he's trained with. He's with a top camp, so it's just...
Yeah, Duke Rufus.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I don't personally feel like he has much of a future in MMA. After seeing it, I would hope that he would say, either I need to fight as an amateur for quite a while, and even then, you're not going to get back up to UFC and be successful. I don't believe it.
Well, but his opponent, Gall, 5 fights, 2 professional, undefeated.
Undefeated, finished all his fights. I mean, he looked like a killer, and not to mention just Punk's physical appearance. He was very thin, and there was not much muscle or definition. I mean, he's even said himself, I'm not the most athletic guy in the world, and honestly, it showed.
The landscape of mixed martial arts has changed so much from the time of Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture. You literally can't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, not at the highest level.
No, there are just so many guys growing up in this sport now who, you know, watched Randy and Chuck and Mirko and said they wanted to do it from there. And now they're in the UFC. These young guys are growing up with mixed martial arts, not just one discipline like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or boxing. They are growing up with the UFC being fully formed, and the landscape is just flooded with these young athletes.
And you're starting to see these guys who may have, you know, normal guy who like, okay, hey, I'm athletic and I'm skilled, I'm going to go play football or soccer or basketball. You're seeing those guys say, I'm going to do this MMA thing and transition. And it's just, it's a whole different beast. So again...
And it's such a flooded demographic now. They started having requirements for... not Tough Enough, The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
They started having requirements. You had to have so many amateur fights to be on their reality show.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and again, my question would honestly be, what's the goal? Because that's really what it comes down to. Anything that you do, I mean, myself, I have the goal to do professional wrestling. Of course, everybody has that view of like, I would love to be at WrestleMania or at Wrestle Kingdom or, you know, at any main major event. But you also have to say, like, that's like a dream. What is the realistic goal?
Yeah.
If the realistic goal for Punk was to fight mixed martial arts, he has done that. Is it, I'm going to be a UFC champion? Because you have to realize, yes, work towards that goal. It's probably not going to happen.
There's a lot of steps before you reach the top of that mountain.
Well, and let's be honest, this was really a freak show fight. This is a fight, much like James Toney, who had a impressive boxing career behind him.
Yeah.
One fight, and that was it. You know, this, how much can you squeeze the juice out of, like, former pro wrestler CM Punk?
Yeah.
Because there was at no point in that fight did it look like he had a chance other than just get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not going to happen again.
No. So I mean, I don't think again, much respect, but it was hard to watch. If you're not particularly a fan of mixed martial arts, I would definitely say don't watch this because it's not pretty at all. But kudos to him for stepping in.
The quickest, biggest cauliflower ear I've ever seen form on a man.
It was rough, and he looked rough. But, you know, again, respect.
He lasted longer than some guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was not like one punch and that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't like 5 seconds. Like,
it may have been a little worse because he got beat down for like 2 minutes, but you know it's neither here nor there.
He survived.
You know, where do I think he belongs? Go back to pro wrestling. Honestly, yeah, that's where he should be.
Go do some DDT or something.
There's so many places out there that he could go, and there's so many other things that he could do based off of what he can, and I really honestly don't think...
Go to Impact, they'll eat him up.
Yeah. New Japan, Lucha, I mean, there are so many places that he could go outside of WWE. Just, I'd stay out of MMA, dude, because it ain't gonna get easier. Not at all. Well, guys, I think that's all we got for this week. You know, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. What was the biggest piece of news for you this week?
Yeah, did we forget anything?
Yeah, what did you think of CM Punk's fight? Let us know. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up to give us a like, and if you really enjoy it and want more from us, hit the subscribe button at the end of the video for more wrestling goodness.
That's right. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And as we always say here on Tandem Fandom, if you're going to be a fan,
bring a friend.